Yeah.
So this has got nothing to do with freedom and democracy and all the rest of the stuff.
Is your computer saying that if Trump gets in, this thing can ratchet down?
Trump will definitely try to do that. I've also spoken directly with RFK. And look, Trump is against war. And I can vouch for that. I mean, I went to Mar-a-Lago for dinner back in March of 2020 when he was president. And I've met so many heads of state over the years. I like to meet them, to look in their eyes to see if there's really a light on or what, And that was the first time any head of state actually impressed me. He said then he wanted to pull the troops out of Afghanistan, but it was the reason. He said he was sick and tired of writing letters to their parents. Your son died for God and country. He said, what are we doing there? They've been fighting over borders for 1,000 years. What difference are we going to make? That's why he wanted out. And look, I was good friends with Maggie Thatcher, with Falklands War. I mean, I've never, ever heard any head of state be concerned about the people, the soldiers that die on the battlefield. Never. All right, Trump was the first one.
Wow.
I spoke to RFK, and I was arguing that he should have joined Trump. I said, look, my argument was that you're both against war, and that's what we need. All right, and he joined Trump, and he said he's convinced that he is anti-war.
You know what? I mean, just from a dollar and cents, it's a waste of money.
We get nothing out of it. All right, what does a soldier get? The best that he can hope is to come home in one piece. That's it.
I want to get to the Hunter Biden. I regret not asking you about this because I bet you had an answer for it. Was your computer signaling? I mean, he's been saying this for months. I'm not going to pardon my son. That's not going to happen. Jean Klein Perrin, whatever her name is, KJP, or whatever. Yeah. She. Oh no. He'll never pardon Hunter. Did your computer say, he's going to pardon him? Did your computer say that ahead of time?
But
wait, I want to hear the answer. Did your computer say?
You have to understand.
Okay.
It wasn't for Hunter.
But I want to get this out of your mouth. Did your computer ahead of time, while he was saying that he wasn't going to pardon him, just like all the other junk Kamala's winning, did your computer say that he was going to pardon him?
Yeah, because look, it was basically showing the collapse in the rule of law, and that's what this is all about.
When did your computer say that he was going? Right after he said, "I'm not going to pardon him." So your computer had it. He's going to pardon him. Wow.
Look, Ukraine, I know personally. It's the only government that ever tried to hire me and said, "Look, we can pay you offshore in a hidden account." I said, "No, thank you, not interested." Never have I been attempted to be bribed by a government. Never. All right, and Ukraine is just known as the most corrupt government in the world. So what is why did he? I think he made a serious mistake in pardoning Hunter, because what he's really doing is pardoning himself. That's what he thought, because he made it back to 2014. Why 2014? That was the Russian or the Ukrainian Revolution. All right? That's where the corruption has begun from there on. All right? So what you're looking at is he thought, and I'm surprised that there wasn't a smart enough lawyer to tell him not to do this, but by pardoning him all the way back to 2014 means he could be compelled now to testify. How much money did you get out of Ukraine? Where'd it go? Did it go to the big guy? How much? What did you do? He can't be prosecuted, so he can't claim the Fifth Amendment.
Wow.
All right. He could be thrown in prison for contempt of court for refusing to testify.
That's something that you know something about. You were
yeah.
held the record for being held in prison for contempt of court. I mean, it's 5, 6, 7 years, something like that.
About 7 years on an 18-month statute.
Oh my gosh! So you think
the only when I got to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, "What the hell's going on here?"
That was not in a government funhouse prison. That was not where you were out playing golf and having fun and you were in prison.
I was held in the MCC in New York City, a high rise, and you don't see the sun for 7 years.
Oh Lord, have mercy! You went through the ringer. So Hunter Biden could get thrown in jail. Oh, you're not going to answer our questions? Oh, okay. So we're going to throw you in prison. He could be thrown in prison.
Yeah, he can be thrown in prison like they did that to Bannon.
Oh boy, and not for 4 months. He could get a couple of years in prison.
He legally at least 18 months. Me, they just kept rolling it every 18 months, and it just takes you 7 years to get to the Supreme Court, basically.
And they let you go before it went to the Supreme Court because they were going to get a pie in the face, and you did what? You kept him in jail how long?
What you have to understand is in the Supreme Court, they don't get to argue. It's only the Solicitor General. So then, when the case gets up there, and the Supreme Court's taking it, it orders them to respond. The Solicitor General even called my lawyer. He says, "Can we get a postponement?" He says, no postponements. Forget it. He's been in there 7 years. It's illegal. He then calls them and says, "What the hell am I supposed to argue here?" All right, release him. Then he goes to the Supreme Court and says, "Oh, well, it's moot. He's no longer in prison." And that's how they get around stuff.
Okay, then I want to ask you this because I'm just trying to ask. Okay. Did your computer see that? Because I want you to come back to this. It's the breakdown in the rule of law. So what we're hearing now reported is that he's going to give a pardon Liz Cheney, a Republican. I'm sure for the J6 alleged witness tampering and documents lost, videos gone. Also, his brother James, also Jill. That's what Larry Klayman was talking about. That he's going to go pardon city. He's going to go crazy. Has your computer seen that? And what do you think about these big blanket pardons? Go ahead.
The computer's been showing, and we published reports at the conference, that this is most likely the final nail in the coffin for the Democratic Party.
Wow.
You can go on our site and look. We put up charts. We allocate the total number of seats, the Senate and the House, and plot them as a percentage. All right. The peak was FDR. Every high has been lower, and every low is lower. It's a bear market for the Democrats. Why? Basically, FDR won on the first time. All right, on this Marxist socialistic agenda. Because he won one time, they have kept that up. So basically, it's like, vote for me, I'll steal it from him, and I'll give it to you. That's what their whole agenda has always been. All right, it's never been, vote for me, and I'll run it more properly than this guy or whatever. No, it's always about trying to bribe somebody, and that's what it's about. Vote for me, I'll steal it from him, and I'll give it to you.
Yeah, that is pay your fair share. That's that rendition of that
what's
garbage.
Fair share? To them it's like, well, look, I was in Vancouver in Canada, and there was a socialist up there, and she actually said the truth. Whatever you make belongs to the state. They decide how much you're allowed to keep.
She came out early, and then she stopped that. And her real agenda was, this awful stuff you had. Was it Mark Andreessen? He said, I went to a meeting, and they said, no. 3 companies are going to control everything. You're not going to be able to have any startups. They're going to have control over everything you make. And this is what they were talking about doing. And then and she came out early and said, well, we're going to have a unrealized tax of 29%. That was a number they threw out. And everybody said, oh, great, yes. Bezos is going to have to sell a third of all of his Amazon shares. Oh, what could go wrong?
That's what I mean. All they look at is the money. That's it. And they don't look at, oh, he's worth $6 billion. Let's take 3 of that. I don't care if you confiscate all the money of the top, 100 billionaires. You still don't balance the budget. The interest expenditures this year alone is $1 trillion. That's 1,000 billion. All right. We don't have anybody with that kind of money. And if you put in unrealized gains, oh, we'll get that billions from Bezos. Well, how does he get it? Because that worth is not cash, it's stock. So then he has to sell. What happens? Oh, gee, now you created a stock market crash. So everybody loses in their pension funds because everybody's going to be selling everything under the sun to raise money. I mean, these people have no idea how the economy functions. They shouldn't even be close to any kind of power that has any economic decision-making whatsoever, because they only rule in their own favor, and they don't even understand how anything functions. And once you put in unrealized gains, guess what? Oh, your house is worth $500,000. You only made $100,000 for it. That's $400,000. All right, we want tax on that right now. How you pay it? You got to sell your house to get. This is how they destroyed the farming industry. Why is Bill Gates the biggest holder of farmland?
Yeah, in Missouri, they have a 12 million exemption now, so they couldn't. So you don't have to sell the family farm if somebody dies.
That's what was happening. They come in, they say, oh, well, this land, if we built condos on it, it'd be worth a lot more. All right, so we want that value, and you're going to have to pay tax. And you don't have the cash, so you got to sell it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I got so many questions for you. Bitcoin. Cuckoo. I was watching Fox Business, and I'm watching this going, oh, this is going to end badly. 100,000 plus or minus. And then one of the guys said, I think it's going to go to 250,000 before the end of the year. I thought, what is happening to the U.S. dollar, to the bond market? What is happening for them to make a prediction like that? Bitcoin, 100,000. What are your thoughts? What does the computer say?
Look, the computer basically shows that it could reach maybe 125 if it makes, it closes above at least the November high for the year. Then you can go up further, but it's look, most of it is been, to some degree, what sources are saying, it's been manipulated, being pushed up. Why? Because they want people to think that, see, digital currency is worth more than paper money. So let's get rid of all the paper money and we'll all go digital. And it's a control system. I just posted a trailer for a new documentary I was part of, and with a number of other people, on the CBDCs. It's the end of money. Everybody's basically, all the experts there said, look, this is total control. All right. If I give you a $100 bill, they don't know where I got it from. But if I give you 100 in Bitcoin, guess what? They know where I got it from and everybody down the line. Oh, did he pay his taxes along the way? This is a wet dream for politicians. The whole argument I've heard for nothing but 30 years is that they wouldn't have these deficits if everybody paid what they were supposed to. They don't believe anybody is honest because they're not, all right? And look, I mean, even accountants will tell you, you make certain amount of money, they will come in and they will audit you, and they will not leave till they find something because they don't believe anybody is honest and truthful. And truthful. They just don't.
Let's talk medical emergency.